Okay, welcome. I think we are recording. Does it say we're recording? Give me a thumbs up if it says we're recording to you. Okay, good. Perfect. All right. Well, Melissa Corbin here and excited for our Rising Stars tonight. I hope you guys have learned some stuff this last week. We're going to go over first our wins of the week. So if y'all want to jump over to the chat and put in what have you felt like was your win of the week? And I'll go ahead and mute everybody, but type it over there in the chat. And then if you guys see Andra, if you jump on Andra, let me know. So you might have to unmute so I can find you and make you a co-hostess. But I'm gonna read some of these. Like, I feel like a win of the week was watermelon collagen. How many of you guys had orders go in for that? Pretty exciting. I know it's supposed to be for your business, but hey, creative volume, right? More conversations. I see people typing that. Hey, my follow-ups. Oh, good. I actually had people do things. More reach outs, more discussions, more communication. Wow, can you believe it? Communication leads to relationships, which lead to sales, posting, conversations. Love it. I love seeing all these wins of the week. Pretty exciting, and I'm excited, and I think that's fantastic. So let's take a look. Does anybody want to unmute and share maybe their win? Let's see. Anybody unmuted? It is going to be participatory, so you can unmute if you would like. Anybody? Any of our other leaders out there want to unmute and share? For some reason, I can't see everybody yet. Let me change it to speaker view, maybe. Or highlight this. Okay, well, if that's the case, I will, what is the question again? Okay, Kimberly Gill, what I asked is, what's your win of the week? Does anyone unmute and share their win of the week? You can, we had a bunch of wins in the chat I was reading from different people. Posting consistently, good potential, customer conversations. But if you want to unmute, anybody? Okay, I don't want to be the only one talking here, y'all. Okay, I see Fire Tablet. Fire Tablet.
I will.
Okay.
Jamie.
Jamie, okay. Thank you, Jamie.
I keep some of my products at work with me. I keep them up on my desk, and periodically people go through my office and they're like, hey, what's that? What's in your cup? So I've been able to share the watermelon collagen with coworkers and have people interested in it just by having it on my desk.
Fantastic product placement. That's great. You know, you can do that also in your social media. So that's great. I love it. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm going to try to remove this spotlight for myself. Thank you so much for sharing, Jamie. Okay, so let me pull up my notes and we'll jump on and get started. Let's see. I have to switch my Google Drive. So just so you guys know, I kind of keep all of my notes in my Google Drive. And we're going to kind of go over some different things for this, what we're going to highlight for this week. So thank you guys for sharing those wins. So just kind of a real quick overview again for what this group's all about is this is definitely going to be leadership of self, which means you're showing up and the best win is you doing your IPAs, right? So you're posting consistently, having conversations consistently, maybe using your success planner consistently. I was going to pull up mine out. I think I have it right here, but you know, so you have those daily IPAs in front of you and you're doing those. The consistent daily actions that you implement on your own time are going to help develop you and develop the perfect form of muscles that you need to build your business. And that's also we're gonna be focused on with this next 90 days, you know, as we're getting into this, authentic content creation to generate leads and authentic outreach for conversations that will lead to sales. That's what our big goal is. And so I'm excited to see all the wins that everybody's already put in the chat and talk a little bit about that. So we're gonna slow down a little bit so that we can go fast. We're gonna go slow to go fast. Last week we introduced a lot of concepts to you guys, and they might have been new. Some of you, it was your first time to actually see boards. How many of you have? Yeah, is there anybody out there that can raise their hand that they said that was my first time to see boards? Jamie says yes, right? So that's something, you know, a tool. It's not what builds your business, but is a tool that helps build your business, right? We also introduced some of the steps. Some of you hadn't seen the initial steps of, you know, putting your business into action, and we introduced some of those to you. And then we introduced the 10 days of social media. So we want to slow down and kind of pull back on some of the stuff that we introduced last week. And we want to share with you what take a look at some of the social media things, the significance behind it, how it helps you with creating those conversations, and how it also helps you with creating that authentic content, that authentic outreach, because truthfully, social media is just a way for you to build your business. It's just part of it, but it does give you that storefront, and it is part of what you're going to be using to just share your life, to be able to share what is going on with you, utilizing the products, things like that. And so we want to just give you some tips when it comes to your social media. And so if you do have a pen and paper, I want you to do this. And this is stuff that if you guys use social media a lot, depending on your age, you may already know these things. So I'm sorry if you've already know them, but if you don't, it might be something totally new to you. So first things first is that your 80% of the time you should be sharing life on your social media posts. Now we're going to get into specifics about what content should look like, but 80% of the time it needs to be life. 20% of the time it should be business and product. That's how it used to be. It used to be 80% of the time it's your life, 20%. That's how it used to be. Sorry. Now every day you want to have value, connection, and invitation. And I think I actually saw Andrea jump on, and she is really good at sharing some of this stuff. So I might have her go over it here in a minute. But the thing that you're going to want to do now is
Melissa, can you please repeat? I'm so sorry because I was writing. Every day you wrote value and then you said something else after that.
Yes. Thank you and you guys feel free if you need to unmute. Value, connection, invitation, and what is the fourth thing, Andrea?
I'm looking it up because I'm trying to memorize everything too. I'm here, I promise. I apologize, guys. I had an Australia call, then I had a team call, then I'm right here. So I apologize. It's been back to back.
That's all right.
Keep going and I'll look it up.
Okay. So and we'll get back to that because I was trying to memorize it too. So when it comes to you creating your social media storefront, a couple of tips just right up front. One is you need to make sure that you have your profile, your face, or yourself in your profile picture. You don't want to have the profile picture be a picture of your kids. You don't want the profile picture to be a picture of your dog. You don't want your profile picture to be a flower. Okay, it's got to be you. You do want to have something in your about section. Okay, you might want to mention, especially if you're using Singular as a business platform, you might want to mention something like, you are a business coach, or you do wellness, or you're a CEO, or you are an entrepreneur, something along those lines, so that people know you're in business. You're not just a mom, right? Being a mom's great, but you're not just a mom, you're doing other things. And Kelly's putting some great tips in there too. And that's what I love about this call. We have leaders on here, and they all have new people too. So you guys make sure you're reading the tips in the chat, because we'll be sharing with each other.
You want to make me oh, I can share, can I? There we
Yep.
go.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you, Andrea. There's the 4 types of transformational content that we're going to be teaching and going over. And so value, connection, proof. That's what I was forgetting. Proof and educate and invitation.
Can I clarify a little bit on these for you guys, just to slow it down just a little bit more? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay. So just to slow this down just a hair, when you're doing value, you can focus on how you do something, how I plan my day, how I get in sweet treats without ruining my healthy lifestyle, how I can go on a vacation and not gain 5 pounds. It can be so it can still be informational, educational, but you're not going to talk about your products. So you're not saying how I don't gain any weight on vacation and then talk about GLP-X. It's more, I'll give you a good example. I go to the zoo with my grandkids. I can go into stories, and I can actually scan where we're eating, and then I can turn it around. I did this one time and say, so, here I am. I did not pack anything ahead of time. I'm choosing from this menu. Today, I'm going to choose the pulled pork, no bread, coleslaw on the side, and I'll be on track. Grab my water. And I always bring a bar just in case. That's an example of value. And you can do that going live. You can do that in a static post, which is just, a post, but that's value. Connection is where you're literally just trying to make connections with people. Melissa did one, and she did it the other day, had nothing to do with Singular. It had everything to do with being vulnerable, how she had gotten upset at something that had to do with horses. You can go read it. You can go look at it. It was very much to the heart of who she is, but it was showing who she is as a person to attract people to her that are going to have the same values, because those are the people that Melissa wants to work with. I did one today, was very vulnerable. I didn't get hardly any comments, but I got a ton of likes and loves. And it was about how my grandson said, it's okay, Grammy, if you want to come and work and you're on your computer while we play, at least we're going to spend time together. And it about broke my heart. And I talked about how I don't want my grandchildren to know that. But then I could follow that up going into stories and talk about how it's okay that my grandchildren know I'm a hard worker. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's about making connections with people that have grandchildren. But it can be funny. It can be inspirational. It could be a graphic, but it's not good. It's the whole goal is just to attract people to me so they get to know who I am as a person. And then your proof content, we've all done this, right? Customer success stories, like before and afters, right? But there's a slight shift here. Your proof content can actually be a story about how you are helping a customer through their stuck point, because then it's highlighting what you do that is different. How many of you guys have had the question, put it in the chat, a 1 in the chat if you've had the question, how are your products different than blank? Put a 2 in the chat if you've had the question, well, how are you going to help me with blank? And then type in the chat something else where somebody has like compared you or your products to something else. Just type out like, what's a common, question that you get, or comment or statement or obstacle or objection. I heard one when I was in New York, and it was, so many times you just pee out all those supplements. And well, now that I went to New York and I actually saw in the lab how they were showing that the supplements break down and we don't just pee them out. Our bodies literally can break down everything that we use. And that's why our urine isn't bright orange like so many other supplements. I can speak to that now. I have to think about how I'm going to do that, but I can. Proof content can be where you are talking about how you've helped somebody through their stuck point. You can talk about how you're celebrating somebody's results. It can still be a before and after testimonial, but if you can speak to, like their journey along the way, not just their results, but like their messy middle. And if you have that knowledge, then great. So what I try to do is find posts in our results group that will speak more to their ups and downs. And I don't put a lot of before and afters. I probably could do more. And then it's also could be product focused, right? So how you have had, it could be your story, how you've had struggles with gaining, losing, and finally you found something that, you can do with a busy lifestyle and stay on track. And then you can highlight a product, or really it's the features of the product, not the product itself. It's the benefits of the product. That's what people want to know about. They really could care less about the science, you guys. They don't really care about the ingredients until you start talking in a conversation. They want to know the features. What's it going to offer them? How is it going to help them? What's the benefits? And then the invitation is going to be the least amount of posts that you make where you're making an indirect or a direct ask, like, drop a heart in the comments if you can relate. That's an indirect ask. A direct ask is, shoot me a message if you can relate to this, or ask me for the link for our event coming up. But you're still not selling. You're still not putting products for sale on your posts. So it is a little bit of a shift, and that's why it's called transformational content, not transactional content. And thank you. I really appreciate you guys interacting in the chat. Yeah, are the products just like the shot, right? So we got to be really careful about what we say on that. But that's something we can talk about in Messenger for sure, or in text. Thanks, Melissa. I appreciate you giving me just a minute to kind of go deeper into that.
Yeah, no problem. So that I know when Andra said we're gonna go slow so we can help go fast, that's what we're talking about. We're gonna try to dive a little bit deeper because last week we did give you guys a lot of information. Like I mentioned, some of you hadn't even seen boards before. We gave you boards, which is a tool. Some of you were introduced to the 10-day social media launch. We want to first and foremost, say great job on all of y'all who've been posting. First thing, you got to create the habits, right? So great job. We also want to dive a little bit deeper. The reason why with our new Rising Stars, we give you so much, and it's pretty laid out with the 10-day social media launch, is because we don't want you to have to come up with all this things to think about. Yes, you have to make a few social media basic changes, like put your Facebook profile picture up, put a little bit of things in the about section. And we'll teach you some other social media basics, as we go along. And then also your leaders will be teaching you, I know Kelly Hill, she had already given some tips. She's really good at making sure her people know some of the basics. So you may, some of what you hear from us may be stuff you already know or have heard from your upline. And that's great. But we also want to help you by diving a little bit deeper into looking at the 10-day social media launch. So we're going to get into that here in a minute. But a few things, just for you guys to understand and know, your social media platform and who you reach does matter with you, the friend requests that you send out, accepting and sending friend request messaging. And then there's other key things you can do to kind of make your profile pop. One thing Kelly mentioned is back on your background, your cover photo. So see, your profile picture is what Andrew has with the circle. That's her face. But then your cover photo can be your family, your dog, your grandkids. It also could be a little bit about you. So see how she probably used Canva or something like that to create that. And she's got a picture of her team, a before and after picture of a fun trip, a picture of her family, a picture of her you know, an award she got. Like, you can, a quote she loved. You can do things like that too for your cover photo. Okay. And all of that can be there, changed right there where it says edit. See that little pencil right there in the middle by her name? It says view tools, edit. You can edit all those things right there on your Facebook. You can also edit the bio. She kind of clicked on that under the intro. And I will tell you, you never know who you're going to connect with. So for me personally, I did go add some of the history on my bio. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do this. But these are just some key things that will help put your profile out there in front of people that will probably connect to you. So, you know, if your teacher, put it on there because it's Facebook and social media and put you to more teachers. If you went to a certain alma mater, put it out there because it's going to connect you to other people that go to that alma mater. Things like that. And then there is an option for the pinned post, and your pinned post can be a little bit more about you or your story. And we're going to get into that because one of the tasks on the 10-day social media launch was telling your story. And honestly, that's where people kind of get hung up the most, especially if maybe you've only been on the products a little short time or you're not at your goal. You might feel like, I don't want to put my story out there. That's where we're going to dive a little more deep too, is helping you understand the importance of what you could put out there and how you can actually do it in a way that's going to make people raise hands and kind of come to you.
So real quick, you guys, this is how easy it is to pin a post. Don't overthink it. That's the first thing. Just don't overthink it. You can find one that you got a lot, like that you shared your story one time and you got a lot of comments on it. It could be a month, 2 months, 6 months ago. You click these 3 dots and you select pin post. And now that post is gone and it was replaced by the one that I had up there. And now that's the one that's pinned. It's very simple to do. And I did not get a lot of comments on it, so I might unpin it. But I just wanted you guys to see it's very easy to do.
Yep. And I will tell you, sometimes doing a quick search on the internet is the fastest way to figure things out because they do change the platforms. And even sometimes I think I know how to do something and then it doesn't work. So I have to go Google it changed. So same thing, this is my profile and I've got a pinned post and I've got information about what I do, what I help. I love the I help statements. And when you're talking about about, you can do, what do? You help people love blank, 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 blank. Like, go back to why you started Zingular. I help people, who want to have more energy so they can play with their grandkids. I help people, women who want to have a little bit of a side hustle, but feel great doing it. See, you make it a little bit more of a I help statement. It doesn't even just have to be about you.
I heard one the other day. I help working women feel great in their own skin without breaking the bank. I was like, wow, that's clever, right? Because then they're saving time, money, and they're feeling good in their own skin. I was like, whoo, that's smart.
I like it. So those are just some just social media basics that we kind of wanted to touch back on. One thing I did want to say real quick is stories. How many of you guys, if you post, if you know the difference, drop a 1 in the chat. If you know the difference between posting on your wall and posting on your stories. If you already know the difference in that. Put a 1. Okay, good. Lots of 1s. Okay, good. One somebody says 1 barely. Okay, so Andrew, will you show us real quick what the difference between walled or posts on your wall versus posts on your stories are, and tell us what we should be doing with our stories versus our posts on our wall?
Yeah, so why don't you guys write this down, and maybe it's review. I just always say it never hurts to review anything, because sometimes it's the third time you hear it and it sticks. You hear it from a different person and you're like, oh, I think I heard that before, but now I'm finally getting it. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I usually take like 3 to 5 times before things stick. So with your posting on your wall, that's this, right? This is her wall. You want to do what's called priming your content before you actually make your post. But don't get stuck in doing this for a whole hour or anything like that. So priming is when you go to your Facebook, right? And you can see other people's posts. And I tend to skip my own team and go to somebody that I, haven't talked to for a while, or that I want to talk to, like Alicia right here. So priming is where you comment and you love. Likes are kind of pointless. You can love it, you can care about it, you can do a wow face. Likes are kind of like, eh, but do something with some meaning and then comment on it. You obviously can look at the other people's comments. If you don't really know the person, you can kind of look to see what other people are commenting, and then you can comment. You can select from these, but I actually find that if you make it more authentic and you do like 3 or 4 words or more, then you're gonna get more interaction. So like if I was on Cheryl's, which is an old customer of mine, and that's why it's interesting that she's popping up on my feed, and it's because I've messaged her recently. I wouldn't just say gorgeous. I would actually say, oh my gosh, lilies are my very favorite. I love the aroma that they leave, in my house. They're just my favorite. Do you have a favorite kind? And then that's going to actually create a conversation on Facebook. So that's called priming. And then you want to go post on your wall, which obviously you could do right here. You can just make a post what's on your mind, right? That's posting. But then stories are what we see up here. And a lot of people will actually scroll through and they will look at all the stories before they ever scroll their feed on Facebook. And so here's Stacy Rotello. She's another, partner. She went with me to New York. This is a really great one. She's right here. Here, let me see. This one, she's talking about the features of the trim sticks. And then she's talking about some of the ingredients of what people might be concerned about. And now she's just showing her life. And then she's sharing somebody's, somebody in her team. But people are going to look at stories. This is somebody on my team. She's just sharing what's going on in her world, in her life. And then a post that she made. So if we click on this, it's actually going to take us to view her post. And people do this all the time. Then they go look at the post and then they can go comment if they want to. So stories are a great way. Like we'll just look at Lexi. I have no idea who she is. And she's showing her trip in Cabo. I really don't know who she is, guys. I have no clue. So I need to like go figure out who she is, because for some reason she's showing up on my feed. This is Marilyn. She's an executive. She's got swipe up so that people will message her. And then she's got something that she shared a reel. So stories, if you can do 5 stories a day, that's really going to help people to get to know you better. I only have 2 on there right now because I had like 20 yesterday. And this is all I'm showing. So it's just a chance for people to see a day in the life, and they really liked, and it's a way to connect. And then sometimes you can put your links in there and things like that. But that's the difference between how you can sell in stories and create connection content in stories versus posting on your wall. And, everybody looks at things differently. Some people don't really look at a lot of stories, but typically in social media, right now in social media, your highest leverage social media content is going to be your lives, going live, then it's stories, and then it's your post. And they go in that order. People are consuming video and audio. They want to be entertained first, and they read second. And that's why things like Instagram and TikTok do so great. They're entertaining. So use your stories to entertain on Facebook. And if you do reels, that's awesome.
Yep. And I will tell you, most of the time I take and share my posts or my lives to my stories, because I feel like it does help with some of the views. So with our 10-day social media launch, we gave you guys the stuff that you should be putting on your wall. So those should be posts. Those shouldn't be stuff you put in your stories. But we thought we would go ahead and take a look at some of them. And we did reach out to a few people, and they said, sure, you can take a look at mine. So we're going to go through them together. We're going to give feedback and, look at some different of the posts we put out there. So, let's take a look at Tanisha first. Tanisha, say hi, wave. She did a great job posting, and she's on Deanna Smith's team. Tanisha actually hit manager last month and is back rebuilding or building again to requalify. So let's, do you want to share the screen and pull her up? Tanisha Forney.
Yeah, so Tanisha, it's hard, you guys, and let me just show this to you really fast. It might be something in organization that I didn't even think about. You might want to put your name next to your post. I hadn't really thought about that. So I don't really know which one is Tanisha's. See how I can't really differentiate
I don't remember
between
which one
them?
it was either.
I
We
put
can
it
just go
by
to her.
date.
Go ahead, Tanisha. What, honey?
It was by the date. I typed in the date on there. I thought.
I was just gonna say, pull up her Facebook.
Right there.
Yeah, let me just go to your Facebook. I don't know if I can see it. Is it public?
Yep. I was
All right.
taught to do that.
Good job. Well, cheers to your teacher, Deanna. Awesome teacher. Upline, rock star.
Also, cheers to you for listening.
Yeah. Being coachable. I love Tanisha. She's always commenting on my stuff, but then I don't know that I see yours. It's Forey, right?
Yep.
Are you wearing a blue shirt?
Now I am, because I just changed it because you guys told me to put just my face.
I love it.
All right. Let me get
Coachable.
in here. Let me get in here. Yeah, I was just telling another team, like, we overcomplicate things. If we can just post, invite, add friends, and start chats, then we can move the needle on our business. All right. So let's go to, I think it was,
Where she was telling her story.
yep, let me go find it right here.
That'll be it.
Awesome job.
Yep. And I will tell you guys, if for some reason with your 10-day social media launch, if you got off track, if life happened over the weekend and, you weren't able to get on and post or, whatever, it's okay. Pick up where you left off. It's okay if you didn't have a post every day. Just pick up where you left off and keep going, because one, you're creating habits, but two, you are starting to drip out there and people are starting to see it. And so after we talk a little bit through this, I do want Tanisha and Deanna to tell us what's become about this post, because first thing first is telling your story. Whenever you're talking about what the products are doing for you, or when you're doing anything related to the product. Like when I did a thing about watermelon collagen, that's bottom of the funnel. Remember, you're not going to probably get tons and tons of comments, but let's go through this. I'm going to let Andrea kind of talk a little bit about it.
Are you okay if I audit your post a little bit?
Yeah, because I need to learn. I would love it.
Okay, well, you're very sweet. I didn't get anybody from my group to I just couldn't get in touch with them today. It was just tough. So I appreciate you doing that. So first off, you're authentic, you're being vulnerable, you're talking about your struggle, your messy middle. It's great. The tips that I would offer you is to start something off in the beginning that stops the scroll. It can be a question, it can be an exclamation. It could be as simple as never thought that I would get it off. And people are be like, well, what's it? What is she talking about? Right? It stops them to go, what is she talking about? You could start it with down 16 pounds and 9 inches with a, mind-blowing emoji, right? You're stopping the scroll with your results in the front end versus in the back end. So that's just one little thing. Just, it's kind of it's a hook. Do you guys remember writing in school and the teacher would talk like a topic sentence? Well, now teachers, when they teach writing in schools, they actually teach kids to start with a hook. They literally teach that in school now. So it's the same thing with writing. It's called writing copy. And writing your posts can help stop the scroll. But it's actually pretty good because you said I struggled with weight as long as I can remember. Like somebody who's struggling with weight can go, oh my God, I can totally relate to that. Then if you can make a little bit of white space, so like right here where you have the word off, if you just hit one return and give one little white space, so funny, I'm going to tell a quick story. My husband said, I completely disagree with you. Whenever there's white space, I just move on and I don't read it. And I wanted to give him the bird. And I said, well, I hate to break it to you. You're kind of not the norm. Typically, if it's all in one, it becomes overwhelming to a reader and the readability goes down. And so they can't consume your content very much because it looks like a lot to take in. But if you have like 3 sentences in a paragraph, it's not really a paragraph, but if you have, 3 little sentences in a paragraph, then people will consume your content a little bit better. Otherwise, I thought it was really great. Just break up some of this paragraph right in here. Then the other thing I would say is, so in our social media 10-day launch, we talk about telling your story, and this is what you're doing, right? And you did great. You followed the assignment. You did awesome. But moving forward now, we are not going to put all of our nuggets in one post. We're going to drip the nuggets into multiple posts because this one post could be about 20 different posts. So you could take one and you could literally create, 5 different posts for the rest of this month. I'll give you a quick example. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I've restricted myself. I've eaten all the right things and still cannot ever drop a pound. Finally, I found that I can get my cravings under control. I thought I had a good gut. Turns out I didn't. Amazing what good gut health can do for you. And I've only just begun. Now that's going to take like this much space, right? And then you can just put one picture. That's the other thing. One picture, not 2 pictures, will actually stop the scroll more than multiple pictures. So that's why even though when I went to New York, I had 60, I deleted 100 photos. I kept 60. I had 20 videos. I made 2 posts. Everything else is going in my stories. And then I'll use those posts over time to talk about my business over time, but I'm not going to put it all in one post. So don't put all your eggs in one basket. Does those tips help?
Yes.
So great, great, great post. Now you could actually pin it if you want to. And then you said, Melissa, you wanted to hear what happened from this post, like what was the outcome, what were the results, which I have no clue, right? All I see is 6 comments. That's all I know.
Okay, so why don't you guys tell us what's going on with this?
I had more text messages, personal text messages than posts or than comments. So I know one lady is placing an order tonight when she gets back home. My friend from North Dakota is looking through stuff. I have 4 people getting ready to order,
Yeah.
at least, just from this today.
And
So
and
just as a
she started chat groups. She did exactly, she followed the protocol and said, Deanna, I have a friend, started a chat group, and we just rock and rolled, and she's done an amazing job, and she's taking a little more control of the what's going on. So like if I hesitated a moment, she was jumping in there, and that was great. She's taken the leadership of the chat group at an appropriate rate and asking me for help when she needs it. And she's just doing amazing.
That's awesome. So just as a reminder, this is a really good example of how we sometimes make a post and all we're focused on is the outcome, which is the sale, right? But really, if we can focus on the whole idea of a post, you guys, is to generate leads.
Mhm.
That's the whole goal of a post. And that's what it did. It generated leads. Now, does that mean all those leads are going to turn into enrollments? Maybe not right now, but we know people need to see things sometimes upwards of 10 different times or 10 different ways before they finally will say yes. That's why I have people 5 years later saying, okay, I've been watching you for 5 years. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started out of the blue. I'm like, who are you? But all of these people right here, just as a follow-up, and we haven't really gotten into this, but I'm going to say it right now. All of these people are leads. Every single one of them. And you can start, you guys might want to write this down. You can start by as simple as saying, thank you so much for liking my post the other day that I did. It sometimes is hard to be a little vulnerable. That's a story, right? But it helps me to see that people see my content. I really appreciate it. How have you been? How are you?
Yep.
Now I'm giving you a little insight to where we're going with this, but if you guys can practice that simple of a message to anyone who likes or loves any of your posts, I want you to think about how many new conversations you will have. Whether it turns into a sale or not does not matter right now. It's you getting good at taking the lead of a conversation and talking to people in Messenger. That's where we're at. Because if we can work the muscle of posting and conversations, then we will lead to enrollments. It's building a muscle. So that's my assignment to you. I'm not your coach. I'm not your upline. You can go talk to Deanna. She might say I disagree, but I doubt she will. So you want to send a message to them. Thanks so much. How have you been?
Okay.
You never know what it might lead to. Okay?
Totally
Yes,
agree.
thank you.
Who's next?
Shonda. Okay, so Shonda has also been really active over in our messenger chat. Shonda, I love you being active and sharing. And so we're gonna take a look at some of your posts too, because you've been using the post from the 10-day social media launch. And Andrew and I had kind of looked at some of these that you guys are putting over into the Google Doc, which is being so helpful because we're building kind of this rhythm for y'all so you can go back and see and have this, but really so you can have it for your newest person that you're going to onboard this month. Okay, so let's take a look at some of Shonda's posts.
So I saw this one first off, Shonda, and I was like blown away. Just like Tanisha, I was like, oh my gosh, we've got to get Shonda in front of people. So same kind of thing. You did a great job. You've got your white space. You're talking about your story along the way. where you were and now where you are, how you were feeling. You were talking about the emotions. You guys, people don't get started because of facts. They get started because of their feelings. The emotion that you can pull out of people is going to matter a whole lot more than a price tag. So that's where transformational content is different. We're not talking about the transaction. We're talking about the emotion. Think about yourselves, you guys, when you first started. Yes, in the end, you do think about the cost, but in the beginning, you're thinking about how you feel or how you want to feel. So she puts all of her little nuggets in here, what she's tried and the shot. So of course, that's going to really get some heads turning. Then it changed. What did she do? Where is she at now? And how it's changed her life. She's got a lot of brand partners who commented. She's got some friends who commented. Shonda, this was a fantastic post. Can you unmute so I can see your beautiful face?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I love it, Shonda. I love it. How long have you been a partner, Shonda?
Since August of last year.
Okay. So even though you've been a partner since August, like you just did this, so you're practicing that 10-day social media to a T. So that's awesome. This is the area of improvement for you. I'm going to open up these comments. I'm going to cross my fingers that it will show up. I'm going to share with you a missed opportunity. Is that okay with you? Do I have permission to share a missed opportunity for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is a Facebook algorithm rule. You guys can drop a 1 in the comments if you know the rule. Did you know that Facebook is in charge of who gets to see your posts? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Put it in the chat. Facebook is in charge. We are at their mercy. This is their platform, not ours. We don't own it. They get to pick and choose who sees our stuff. 4% of our full audience of followers and friends see our posts, unless we do a couple of things. One of those things is posting every day. One of those is 5 stories or more. And Facebook says, hey, good job. We're going to put your feed at the front of other people's because you're using our platform and you're getting conversation. You're having conversation on Facebook, so we're going to let more people see it. So we're not going to have 4%. They might double it to 8%. They might make it 20%. Do you ever wonder how or why some people have 100 comments on every single post? It's not because they're any more special than you. It's because they've worked the features of Facebook to their favor and they're using the platform to its full capacity. One of those ways of using it to its full capacity that I miss an opportunity on is Reels. So that's my area of growth. Yours right here for your area of growth is every single person who comments, whether they're asking for information or not, gets a reply back. Every single person, every single post, every single day. So you're going to like it with a heart, and then you're going to reply, and you're going to hit reply, and you're going to say something back to her with 3 words or more. That constitutes a conversation. 3 words or more. That's your magic number. Work things in 3s, you guys. It's easy to remember anything for 3, right? We get more than 3, we forget. So you're just going to reply back to every single one of these people. Now, anybody that is a potential friend, prospect, not a team member, not another partner, like, I don't know, Beverly might be one of those people. You could like it and you could reply, thank you so much, Bev. I have never felt younger. Whatever you think might resonate with her the most. Would love to chat sometime if you want to do that, or you can just say, I've never felt younger. Then you're going to go message her And you're going to say, hey, Beverly, thank you so much for commenting on my post. I really appreciate it. It's hard to put myself out there. It's been quite the journey, but you know, we haven't talked in like forever.
Right.
How are you? Okay. So that's your missed opportunity, is replying back to every single person. Look at all those comments. So when I saw that you had 21 comments and only one person had been replied back to you, which means you have 20 comments on here, that's going to turn to 40 comments. Facebook is going to see it. They could care less if it was 4 days ago. Facebook's going to care less to see it. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to push this post out to a whole new group of friends. The second thing that happens when you guys do this is now all these people that commented, they're going to start seeing your posts more often. So especially if there's somebody in here that could be a prospect, could be a potential customer or partner, they're going to see your posts more frequently. Therefore, we've got to keep posting every day. You can't start and stop. You got to stay consistent. And then the third opportunity that you have right here that you might not know about is every single time we go and message someone, the Facebook and Messenger are the same, right? So Facebook says, oh, they have a relationship. Not only are they talking on Facebook, they're now talking in Messenger. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to make sure that they see all of Shonda's posts, and she's going to see all of theirs. So now you get an ongoing dialogue with commenting on their posts. They get to see yours. You do that for 4, 5, 6 days. And in your conversation, how are you? You're going to go talk to your upline and go, oh my God, they're talking to me now. What do I do? And then you're going to get coaching from your upline. Okay. Or you're going to put it in our big group chat, go, oh my gosh, they're talking to me. What do I say now? And we're going to help you with that. Okay. Great, great, great post. Awesome job.
Thank you.
And Shonda, I have seen your name come across this week for some celebrations. You've had some enrollments, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's just, isn't it pretty awesome how posting and doing the activities that we've been doing are leading to enrollments for both of these ladies? I'm so excited.
So I think what we should do is show the social media launch so that people can actually see it, so they can see what the other posts look like. And I want to open it up to conversation and questions. And we're going to actually have you guys write a post wherever you are in the system of the 10-day social media launch. And so let me just grab that really fast. And I know that not everybody has boards, but everybody has the Google Doc. I'm just going to boards because it's easiest for me. It's my place. It's like my home base. You don't have to have boards to do this. You could just be using the chat, but I'm just going to show it to you guys because it's just the easiest way for me to grab it. Now, this social media launch kind of went through some transformation of its own, and it's probably going to go through another transformation, I'm sure, at some point in time. Melissa started it. I added some stuff to it. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. So a lot of you guys started with just an engagement post, and literally it was like a Monday morning check-in, or you did a post of attitude for gratitude, or you did a little text. But you've got to always make sure you have a picture whenever you do text. Okay. This Monday morning check-in, you guys, was mine. I had like 100 comments. People just, you never know, like, who just wants to give their voice, right? It doesn't have to be flashy. And I didn't really want to do anything with physical health or mental health or second brain or gut health. I just wanted to do a general, like, just hello post, right? Just something to cause people to like talk to me and see my stuff. And I try to practice gratitude. So can you guys put in the chat, yes, you did this? Has everybody done at least an engagement post? Because it's like the easiest one to do. It's no brainer. It takes 2 minutes. Awesome. Melissa, will you talk about why we start with a gratitude or with an engagement post, please? Will you please talk about that?
No. So a couple of things, we really want to help you with warming up that algorithm. And so the best way to do that is to get people to engage with you. And the best way to get engagement is for them to comment on things. So you've got to ask questions that people, are going to respond to. And, you may not want to just jump straight into the one that says, does your weight affect your mental health? Those things, because if you haven't been talking about that, the audience that is watching is going to be like, what is this girl talking about? Right. But if you had already been talking about that, let's say you join Singular and you're already a psychiatrist. That post would not be uncommon for you because everybody knows, oh, she's a psychiatrist. She wants to know if that's affecting my mental health, right? So just kind of think about those things. But also, it's going to help you with getting some hand raises so that you know a little bit about what the audience that's currently following you is looking for. And so you can decide, okay, those are my people, or all the people commenting already on Singular. Okay, I don't want to keep posting stuff that they're only going to respond to. I want to start branching out a little. So it is giving you that engagement, building that algorithm, kind of getting everything warmed up.
So this one is a curiosity post. This is top of funnel to middle of funnel. This is maybe cold market, but more likely warm market to hot market, which means they're people that know you and like you. They're starting to trust you. They might be a little bit curious about what you're doing. This is a cute little picture of Melissa, working in her office, and she was announcing something that she was doing. When I first saw this, you guys, I was like, I can't do that. That was my first initial thought. I can't make that post. I'm not launching a Facebook group. I got stuck in the weeds. I didn't step back a little bit and look at it from a big picture view of well, wait a minute, what's the goal of the post? So then when I went over here and I looked at the purpose of the post, it was oh, I'm just trying to create some excitement. I want people to know what I'm up to, or, what's going on in my world, what's going on in my life. I was like, well, I can do that. Right? So when we're first launching and you're helping someone just get launched, or maybe you feel like you're relaunching your business, maybe you're feeling like you're just really getting the motor started and you want to create that curiosity, then you do want a picture of you. But this is a really easy one. Change is coming. I can't barely contain my excitement. I'm about to blow the lid off something new. Now, I don't personally talk like that. That's not I don't speak that way. So my change for that would be something more like what's over here. Grandkids are everything. Wish me luck. I'm jumping into taking care of me. So I'm here for a long time to see them thrive. Done. Picture of me. I'm finished. Now people know I'm taking care of myself. I'm doing something. It's like making an announcement that I'm really excited about something. Now, some people might say, wish me luck and cheer me on. Right? That's the wish me luck, that I'm giving them an action to do. They know to cheer me on. So all those people that say, good luck, way to go, what are you doing? Now, I, in my state right now, could not make this kind of a post because people would literally come out of the woodwork. Oh my God, are you leaving Singular? What's happening in your world? So I can't make that kind of a post, right? So I have to really, if I want to evoke curiosity in my stage now, it's something different. But for you guys, if you've been in the background, you haven't really done any kind of this kind of posting before, then any of these are going to work for you. Right? So what I'm curious about, and I'm going to see if I can exit out of that. Yay, I can. Would you guys put in the chat or unmute or raise your hand, because we want this to be interactive, when you got this post, what was a question? Because I know I struggled with it when I first saw it, because I didn't create this, Melissa did. What kind of is going well for you on this curiosity post? What's a question you have? If we don't get the questions out there, we can't help you guys. And we want to help you. Have you done the curiosity post? Where are you at? What questions do you have? Anybody?
Okay. I have a comment.
Okay.
So I did a curiosity post and I've been with Zingular since 2021. And so the people that follow me on Facebook, they know who I am. They know what I'm doing. They, by this time they know that I've posted enough. So, but I did my curiosity post I started a GLP X hacks this week and it's working big time. And so then I've got, like I said, so I put a picture of myself holding my shake. So on that kind of post, I don't get very many comments or likes, but when I do a lifestyle post about my life, because I garden and so I play dumb when I garden. I know what I'm going to do. I know the answer to my questions, but I'll put something out there and I'll get 20 comments and I'll get 60 likes. But when I do something that's curiosity post for the business, it's like people aren't listening to me anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally does, because you're in bottom of funnel, whereas gardening, you're in top to middle of funnel. Let me ask you a follow-up question. When you're playing dumb about gardening, are you kind of like asking for an opinion? You're wanting to know what people are doing?
Yes,
I
I'll go
want you to-
live.
I
I'll
want
go
you to
live a lot of
try-
times in the garden.
I want you to try that with wellness. Try
Okay.
that with gut health. Try that with eating low carb. Try that with, how do you stay on track? The sugar demon has got me by the throat. I'm wanting all the sweets. I'm struggling. What do you guys do? I'm not saying to do that one because you're doing GLPX. That's an idea, right? Like, try to use the same thinking where you're evoking a response of suggestions. What do they do? Like, hey, do you have a favorite brownie recipe? I'm trying to stay on track, but I am craving sugar right now. Anybody have a great brownie recipe that you can share with me? Or, whatever, like, you can try it out. Just try it out. Like, it could be one of your 3 posts and just see what happens.
Okay, thanks.
Then if they respond back to you and it's about health and wellness, guess what? You've just found your people.
Okay.
You found your new people that you can go actually have a conversation. You can reply back to them. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your advice. I've been on this journey for a while now, and it just seems like every now and then I get stuck in a rut and I'm not really sure what I should, a new recipe, and it just really helps. How did you come across this recipe?
Okay.
Oh, I've been trying to lose 50 pounds. Really? How's that going for you?
Okay.
So that's what I would try to do, Diane, because you're right. You're not going to get near the things because you're coming across as the expert, right? You're the one giving the suggestions, you're giving the advice. But instead, let's turn the tables and see what happens when you ask for advice or you ask for help. Just see, you never know.
I appreciate it.
It's just sometimes we're just trial and error. We're just trying to figure it out. So let's do this at least. Let's do yeses that you've done a curiosity post. No, if you have not, and then that's where you're going to start.
And I'll say that over in the chat, Jamie says, I said, I'm not just losing the weight, I'm getting rid of it. Who's with me? And she got comments and people or potential customers. I love that.
That's awesome. That's perfect. That is a curiosity post. Yep. Like, what are you doing to lose that weight and how have you not gained it back? That's awesome.
Most people have put a curiosity post up.
Awesome. All right. So then the next one was tell your story, which we just looked at a couple of examples. And then this one is a thank you post. I want somebody to put in the chat, why do you guys think we have this in here? Like, what's your hunch as to why this is in here? What should it be? Like, what are we trying to create? Just, there's no right or wrong answer. Just what's your thoughts? Like, why did we throw this in here? Why did Melissa think this would be a good thing to do on day 4?
Gratitude.
Tell me more, Lena. Or Lena, sorry.
No, you're fine. Thank you, Andra. I just think it's important to say thank you to the people that are reading, watching, I'm gonna kind of throw my coach under the bus right this moment because I'm struggling with some things like not moving fast enough, if that makes sense. Even though I've only been a manager since January, and only is not the proper word, but
I know what you're saying, sweetheart. You want more than that, right?
she made a statement about handwriting cards coming up to people that have, you know, purchased from her. And this is an easy way just to say, you know, thank you to the people that are engaging with you or watching you. And I put things like, I may not be doing it the way that you're asking because I didn't watch completely last week and I will catch up, but I put things like at the end of my tagline, usually I'll put like, I see you, because I know there are people watching, because I watched. I was a watcher. And so that's why I think we do a thank you post.
I love it. No, you're exactly right. You nailed it. And don't worry too much about watching last week because that's why we're slowing down so that you guys don't feel like you are missing anything if you don't go back. But you nailed it. And that's why we've got these comments right here. So real quick, who has done their thank you post? It's not going to be a thank you for anything in general, like, hey, I'm grateful for you. It's very specific. I'm thanking you for your support. I'm thanking you for your encouragement. It doesn't matter if you've never had anybody comment on your post or not. Guess what? You're still going to tell them thank you because they probably liked it or loved it. In the world of Facebook, a lot of people think that's enough. My husband sits there and likes, and I hear ding, ding, ding. And I'm like, would you please turn off your stupid phone? I don't want to hear the ding, ding, ding anymore. And then, you know, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm liking all the posts. I'm like, well, why don't you ever comment? Well, I don't ever comment. I'm just going to like it. He's a watcher, right? So he's just like, this is who we're working with, right? These people that they don't know, like, they don't know the rules of Facebook. They're just watching. So, who put in the comments if yes, you've done your thank you post? Because this is like a really easy one to do. Aaron, twice as many views and comments than any other post. People love to be thanked. People love your opinion too. They want to know your opinion. Can you guys just pop it in if you've done yes? Haven't gotten that far. Okay, Jamie says. Building relationships. That's right. Okay, so this is an easy one to do. So guess what? Everybody right now, you've got 5 minutes. Go make a thank you post. I don't care if you've done it already or not. Go do it again. We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock. It's 7:38. Everybody go make a 5-minute. Like literally don't overthink it. Just go do it. Have fun with it. I'm going to do it too. Don't worry about priming your post or anything. Just go make the post. If you don't want a picture of yourself, you know, you don't have to. You can always just do a graphic. But if you have a picture of yourself, that's always great.
I hadn't done one in a while.
Mm.
Oh, I should mention something else in my.
Throw a few emojis in there where they fit. So, oh, you guys remember how I told you guys if you use more of their features, they promote your post more? You know how you've got your little feeling thing on your Facebook post, the little person down at the bottom. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Oh, you can't see that. Let's see. That little feeling. If you guys select an emotion and you tag a person, if you can do those two things and a picture, it will show it out to more people. The more features you can use, the better. So I used to think tagging was not a good idea, like having my downline tag me in a post, but now I have them tag me because it's using a Facebook feature. All right, time's almost up. Okay, we started that at 7:38. It's 7:44. Yeah, it's so weird, Lena, to use a laptop like to make a post. I totally agree. It's like foreign. So weird. Do you know how to be on Zoom and I shouldn't tell you guys this because I don't want you working on stuff while you're here. I want you fully present. But do you guys know how to shrink your Zoom and go use your phone? Yeah, you can do that. All right. So who can we share? Lena, can I share yours?
Yeah, go ahead. It's simple.
Love it. That's all that it has to be is simple. Okay, so then we're going to look at Lena's and then we're going to look at what's coming up because the next ones that come up are a little bit more challenging. Lena Crab, where are you? There you are. Aw, what a cute picture. I love it. There you go. Have a great evening. Love it. Simple. You've got your avatar in there. We're going to love that sucker. All right. And then the other thing is, guys, if you do comment on some people's posts, it really does help. Here's mine. Super simple. Maybe.
Yours has to refresh.
It does. All right. So we're going to look at what's coming up so that you guys understand how to use this 10-day for the next thing. Live video. All right. You know what I learned from Melissa? She said, if you don't want to go live by yourself, grab a friend and go live together. And I was like, oh my God, that is so brilliant. And guess what I do now with my new partners? We go live together. and I interview them and we talk about their story. And that pretty soon by the end of it, we get on the phone afterwards. They're like, I forgot we were live. We were just like having a conversation. I totally forgot people were watching. It's the best thing ever. So there are some little things that you can do to make your live better. This one is talking about, you can have a little headline. You can, talk about your story in the beginning. You can say 3 tips for the day on how I stay on track. Like you can give tips. Like Diane, you could go live about the garden, right? But then go ahead and go live about, your GLP-X hack, right? But maybe don't focus on GLP-X. Take the product out of it, move it to a middle of funnel post, not a bottom of funnel post, and talk more about how you've been able to maintain your healthy lifestyle. Don't talk about your product. See what happens. Just see what happens. Because you're going to sell in your conversation, you're not going to sell in your post or in your live. You're going to go sell in the conversations that you have. Just see what happens. You never know, right? And it is a little bit of a science. So that's your live. And then this one is you can do an assessment or a gut health check, or you could offer a free recipe. Like you guys, I made a post of brownies one time. And everybody asked me for the recipe. And I had all these conversations and I gave them the recipe in the conversation. And then I got to ask them what their biggest challenge is with staying on track. It's little things like that. And you're going to have
sorry.
ahead.
On
No,
the wellness screening or quiz, if you don't have something you can do, just like Andrew said, do something else where people raise their hand, they want it. I will, when we've done this, because you guys are basically like our third group of Rising Stars, we haven't gotten because it is, if you're offering a wellness screening, it is more bottom of the funnel. We haven't gotten as many people saying, I want the wellness screening, I want the wellness screening, I want the wellness screening. But when you offer the recipe, when you offer maybe tips to eat out at the fast food restaurant, things like that, they're like, oh, I want that. Okay. And then have to be something funny. I mean, something fancy. It be something simple.
Yeah. Then this one's easy, guys. This is family lifestyle post. She did one like around New Year's, but I'm telling a little bit about me. That I'm grateful. Just be human. Just tell you're like letting people see a little bit into your life. And then you'll have a business engagement post. This one took me a little bit. And I think sometimes we feel like we don't have any wins for our business. So don't overthink it. You don't have to make it long like this. You could make it really short. Like, let's say you're no longer crunching the numbers at the grocery store for your groceries. Or you can now buy a certain brand that you weren't able to buy before, like Kraft mac and cheese versus the generic brand. My grandkids love Kraft mac and cheese. Now I can just buy them Kraft mac and cheese and spoil them and they think it's the best. Whatever, however you want to do it. But you don't have to overthink about it. It could just be something simple. And you don't lie, right? But just it could be more about abundance mindset versus lack thereof, scarcity versus abundance. So ask your upline. I will tell you guys what I have my new partners do is I have them send me the post and then I help them tweak it and then they go post it. So use your upline. That's what they're for. Okay. Or if you want to use our chat, you could say like, hey, I'm thinking about this post. You throw it into the chat and then you ask for feedback and then somebody can help you. We can help each other. Melissa and I are not the only ones in here that can help. Like there's lots of people, we can all help each other. And that's the last one that I have. Oh no, there's more.
There's the link. Yeah, these are and one reason we're showing you guys this and we want you to get these out there is first, it is a little uncomfortable if you're used to just talking about the products and you're like so excited because you've lost 40 pounds or you've gotten off of a prescription medicine or whatever. Like those things are easy to talk about because you've had the personal experience. If you're just getting started in the business, you don't have these personal results yet, but you've got to kind of move into that for a few reasons. One is you're looking for partners, right? second thing is, we do have Zooms you can leverage and take advantage of. Robin Packard has a Zoom every other Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Central, or right? I think it's 7 p.m. And her next one's the 27th. So not this Thursday, but the next. And our goal is to help you start some of these conversations, whether it's with a customer, ideally probably a customer that you've already enrolled, that's using the products and loving them themselves. But have a conversation so you can invite them to come and you can start leveraging these other Zooms that we're doing about the missing link. That's what I love about this. The post that's on the 11th post on there is for day 9 and 10 is it starts to talk a little bit about we've really found the missing link, not just on the product, but on the whole package. So go ahead.
So like we both, so, like you could just tweak this one, right? Somebody said August, you could say 6 months ago, I started something new. I really had no idea what it would turn into. I continue to love on people with a servant heart. It's been great. The community is wonderful. I never really understood the impact how one little yes could have on not only my life, but my friends' lives. It's a simple system. And even with the busy life or, busy lifestyle, it's been great fun to, impact others. I'm literally coming off the top of my head, but you don't even have to talk about money is my point. Business does not have to be about money. Yes, money makes the world go round. But remember how I said in the beginning, it's to evoke an emotional response. It's the emotion. So if I said 5 years ago, I could barely rub 2 pennies together and I was crunching numbers at the grocery store in order for us to make sure that we had enough money at the end of the month, I never thought that I would be traveling to places like Jamaica or Cancun or New York. Now I can say that because that's what's happening in my world. But if I wasn't doing that, I could come up with something different that I could say. And then, another live. Melissa, you want to talk about this one?
So this is just talking and inviting people to come along with you. And we started out at the very beginning just about transformational content and what it does, right? And the areas that we are going to help you understand with adding value, sharing proof. One of them was invite, right? And you want to invite people to come along, invite people to join you, invite people to find their own missing link. That's what this is doing. It's just sharing a little bit about what you've found and, what you feel like is next for you or next for, where you're going, things like that. So here's just some headlines or things that you can, put in, to get people to watch and learn. We not only do we have the opportunity Zooms on, every other Thursday evening, but we also have lunch and learns every Thursday at noon. You could start inviting your people to come and learn about the product. I mean, it is on a Zoom link or it's pushed live to Robin's other page, but like, that's great for your customers to know and learn. Thursday, tomorrow, we're talking about cardio, which is the product on sale, so it's important for you to kind of have a little tagline, headline, and then you can go live or you could do a pre-recorded video. Okay. They don't have to necessarily go live, but lives do get the better views.
All right. So all of a sudden, if I was a new person, my anxiety just went through the roof because I felt really good going to where we went. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go live. And then I've got to kind of come up with some business ideas. And then I'm maybe going to go live again. And then I might even be inviting somebody to a Zoom. Okay, am I the only one in the room that's feeling like this? And I love that Diane is smiling because I'm being real, right? Like even 5 years later, I'm like, oh my God, I have all these things that I have to do. Okay, so everybody take a breath. Seriously, everybody take a breath. Okay,
Goose faba. That's what I say.
one post a day, one step at a time. Okay, so my advice, how many of you were told when you first got started, if you would plan your food the night before, you would have a plan and you would be less likely to fail on your weight loss journey or your wellness goals? Who was told that? Plan the night before. So you have a plan, right? If you fail to plan, you're planning to what? Anybody want to fill in the blank? Fail. That's right. Okay, so this is my advice. Start now with looking at this the night before. Jot down a few little things that you might want to put in your post or write it out or type it in your notes on your phone. And then in the morning, you prime your Facebook by going and commenting on 5 people's posts. And then you rip the Band-Aid and you go make your post. And then you go do 5 more. And if you do the post wrong, so be it, but you still did the post. And guess what people are going to see? That you're real, you're authentic, and your next new partner is going to be like, oh my God, she screwed that up so bad. If she can do that, I can do it too. And I know Lena's laughing at me, but it's so true. Because if you make it all perfect all the time, then people are going to be like, oh, I can't be like that. You guys, it's a big problem that I have. I'm not lying. It's a problem that I have because I'm not a perfectionist, but I do have high standards of myself. So I have to like really think about like not overdoing it and overthinking. So plan the night before, jot some ideas down, just do it. Even if you don't do it well, you at least did it. Messy action's better than no action. Okay.
Right.
And post in the chat. I did it. Don't know if I did it right. Doesn't really matter. I did it, and celebrate yourselves because we're not going to be married to the results. We're going to be married to the process along the way because we're building a what? What are we building?
An empire.
We're building a muscle.
Oh, okay. Sorry. An empire.
We're building muscle. Okay. We're building a muscle of being a business owner, and it takes practice. The more we do it, the better we get at it. The more consistent we are, the better we feel. When you start getting bored with the same old thing every day, guess what? You're doing it right. When you get bored, you're doing it right. So we're not even close to that. I'm far from being bored. That means I'm still doing it wrong, and that's okay. Has this helped tonight, you guys?
Yes.
Yes,
We
it
know
has.
an hour and a half is a long time. We're helping you build your stamina.
Yep. So
All right. Melissa, any last words, homework reminders or anything? It's
well,
8 o'clock.
I think the biggest homework is just we're gonna keep going. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't throw in the towel. Just keep going. And we'll be helping you with posting. You know, do your best to post. Do your stories. Invite to the testimonial pages. Tag people in the testimonial pages. Like when you see Sabrina go put her story in there, go tag somebody in Sabrina's story that you think would relate to her or her story, right? Add new friends to your Facebook walls, and then make sure when you do your Facebook posts, you link it into the Google Docs. We have that reference. If you love your post or it goes good, go put it in your testimonial page too. Don't feel like you have to just keep it on your wall. Put that thing around. So
Does anybody remember what the bonus was that you can do to work the algorithm to your favor? What was the bonus? Do you guys recall? It has to do with one of the biggest impacts that you can have to let Facebook know that there is a worthwhile conversation, to let your people see your post. Does anybody remember what it is?
Comment 3 words.
Comment 3 words or more. That's one of them. Good
Likes.
job, Sabrina.
Likes, loves,
Yep.
and Messenger. Messenger's the biggest one.
There it is. Messenger's the biggest one. Who can say what the magic words are that you can put in Messenger that you can use on every single message that you send? What's the way you can start it?
Thank you for watching my post and commenting. I really appreciate it.
And
It shows me someone is
Well-
watching. Well, that's what.
And how are you
what
doing?
you said.
you're doing great. You guys have it. Sabrina got the first part. Somebody else got the second part, but there's a punchline.
It's
And
hard to
how
put
you doing?
myself
How are
out
you doing?
there.
Hard to put myself out there.
How are
How
you?
are you? How are you?
How
How
are you? Yeah. Try to end every conversation with a question. Do you know who controls the conversation?
You do.
The person who asks the questions controls the conversation. If you want control over the conversation, you have to ask the question. And an open-ended question is the best kind. Somebody says, I'm really struggling with being able to keep my weight off. I'm always hungry. Okay, I'd love to know more about that. Can you tell me more? You will control the conversation, you guys. So how are you? Okay. You guys know the assignment. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. And yes, you will get enrollments from this process. It's not going to be just about conversations and leads. You're going to start feeling more and more confident, and we will have enrollments. And yes, we do want to know enrollments. We do want to hear your shout outs. We want to know how you're doing, but we also want to know that you feel like you're winning and empowered to move the needle on your business with content, conversations, and then enrollments. Okay. All right. You guys are awesome. You showed up.
Thank you.
Celebrate yourselves. You showed up. You're here.
Yep, very good. See you guys next week. Talk to you in the chat.